not understand this right now, but I am doing what I know is best for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Film Optix review brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network. I'm your host, Christian, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest Hulu original film, Run. And I have my co-host here, as always, my co-host, Devin, my best friend.
Whenever I hear that title, I can only think about that song.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
No, I was talking about Run.
Oh.
What's that song called? Is it called Run?
I think so. I could be wrong. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think the whole world knows. Yeah,
the whole
there
world
it is.
knows. Yeah.
AWOL Nation. Classic.
Oh, that's right. That's right. For some reason I was thinking of sail. You can sail, you can run, you can fly, you can swim, you can fall, and you can kill. But a little bit of housekeeping news here. Of course, we would like to thank Hulu for allowing us to watch and review this film. And of course, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and of course, Amazon Music. And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. So, Devin, we're going to do non-spoilers for this because it comes out November 20th. It's like 6 days before Thanksgiving. So non-spoilers from here on out. Don't worry about the people at home. You know, we're just going to give our initial thoughts and we'll be out of your hair. But do you want to read the synopsis, Devin?
Sure thing.
It's very short.
A homeschooled teenager begins to suspect her mother is keeping a dark secret from her.
Dun, dun, dun. It's very ominous. Very, very ominous. Excuse me. And yes, it is the cast. It is written and directed by Aneesh Chaganty and Sev. I can't
Ohanian.
Ohanian? No, not Ohioan.
They could be an Ohioan.
That is very true. And of course, some of the cast in this movie, we have Sarah Paulson, we have Kiera Allen, we have Onalee, Ames, and a few others. It's not the cast for this movie is very.
It's basically two people.
Yeah, it's slim pickings for sure, absolutely. But hey, it is what it is, and you know we're gonna get into our nice little thoughts about this. But I wanted to actually get your initial thoughts. Like, you know, since you just literally watched it, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say in store for all of this.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Throughout the whole time watching it, it just felt like it was something I've seen before. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It just like felt like I've just seen this before. Like weird deja vu. Maybe it's probably because there are other stories that are just like this.
Can you think of any of off the top of your head, or because I know what you're talking about? I was trying
to think of some, but
it seems like because this was supposed to come out Mother's Day back in May, and I was very, very excited to see it. You know, it's only for about the runtime's around an hour and 30 minutes, so that's not terrible whatsoever. So it's a nice shorter movie, if you will, or film if you prefer. But I would kind of have to agree with you there. I did like it, but it didn't like blow me away. Like there were some parts I'm like, oh man, like that was really, really cool. You know, a few of the twists and turns were pretty awesome, but it was a very grounded story. I kind of wish it was longer in a sense, if that makes like any sense to you. As I wish there was more depth to this movie because it just seems very bare bones, straightforward. But like honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is a simple film to watch along. Definitely feels like this should have came out more towards October. But this is more
every thriller horror movie. I don't know why they ever released them in November.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. Like it wasn't like yeah, it's definitely more of a thriller suspense. There are some very good scenes, in this film. It's just obviously we're not going to go too much into it, but I
I actually
guess
didn't realize that the writer and director, their first movie was Searching. That was a great
oh
one.
really? Okay. I don't think I've ever seen Searching, but I know what you're talking about. So it's very I
Definitely
don't know.
recommend.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But so I guess let's just get into the casting for this movie. Like, what did you think about the dynamic between Sarah Paulson and I believe it's Kiera Allen who plays the daughter?
Yeah, Sarah
Because
Paulson's always so good in whatever she's in. And of course, she's a perfect creepy mother.
she did seem very controlling, especially if you've watched the trailer for sure. She's one of those overprotective types, if you will. But I believe this is Kiera Allen's one of her debuts next to Ethan and Sky that came out in 2014. So it looks like that's the other film that she's mainly known for, and I believe that's the only other film she's actually ever done. She has a mini bio. She's done Run, and so
Yeah,
Run is her.
she had a lot of good physical acting in this one. Like
She did.
whenever she was like in peril, you could really feel it. Like, oh no.
Right. And to I guess set a premise for those who, I mean, you kind of know this out of the gate from the trailer. Kiera Allen's character. She's born with like a multitude of, I wouldn't say defects. It sounds a bit doctory, but
Diseases.
huh?
Diseases.
Yeah, diseases. She has asthma. She's paralyzed, and she's diabetic as well, which is crazy insane. So she's the premise of the movie kind of starts off, she wants to go to college. She's graduating from high school, and she's waiting for that big yes from whatever school that she wants to go to. So that kind of sets the premise there. And her and her mom had a nice little relationship. Dad's out of the picture, so that's pretty much what you get from the trailer. And of course, the mother is hiding something, but there's nothing like a mother's love.
You can't escape a mother's love.
You cannot escape a mother's love. She wants to hold on tight to you and never let you go. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the main premise of it. But the dynamic between both Sarah and Kiera was pretty spot on, like you said. There's not a lot of characters in this film, but I guess what did you? So I guess like besides the two main characters, did you feel like there was enough world building to convince us that these dire situations that these characters were put into?
Well, that's the thing with this type of movie. There really isn't much world building needed because you're pretty much just in one house for the majority of it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, well, I mean, Room was a little bit different because you're inside of a room the entire time. Obviously, Kiera's character can't run far, so yeah, she's very she's mobile when she can be, but I really like the disadvantages that they kind of shown. Obviously, with her being paralyzed, versus her mother, it's kind of there's definitely a power dynamic here to the point where, yeah, I mean, obviously the mother has all more of the power because she is more mobile, but Kiera's character definitely has the smarts. So
I was gonna say that's probably my favorite part was just how clever they made Chloe. Her clever escape attempts throughout the movie were entertaining, and she was smart, which is nice because usually protagonists in a horror movie are not smart.
Yeah, she definitely was. She definitely had her wits about her. Absolutely. But I guess between this film and since we kind of talked about this film definitely being in a not a November slot, sorry, an October slot. Out of all the look, so I guess what I'm trying to say is there a movie that, or like a horror movie that you wish you would have like watched this in November, in October, and kind of like traded out? I don't know. For me, definitely it probably would have been like Bad Hair, because I know like I watched it and we planned to review it, but it was so bad, and I was like, why did this even come out to begin with? I definitely feel like the Run could have taken that place, because I mean Hulu's been killing it, like we said, with the horror suspense genre, especially for the month of October.
Yeah, Book of Blood's the one that comes to mind for me.
Which one?
Book of Blood.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, that was so bad. Like that was probably one of the worst movies of the year for sure. But yeah, so I guess between all the characters that we've kind of gone over, since we're not trying to get into spoilers here, this is probably going to be more of a rather shorter review, unless there was something you wanted to touch on, Devin.
There's not much to say without spoiling.
It really is hard, and we're trying our best, ladies and gentlemen. We really, really are, and we're just here doing.
I will say it's not going to blow you away with twists or anything. Like
no,
it's pretty. You can see everything coming.
I mean, yeah, part. Like you could, but it was. I still had some kind of.
It was well done though. It wasn't just.
Yeah, it was definitely well executed.
Eye-rollingly obvious.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, of course, blah 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 blah, and X, Y, and Z.
They still kept the tension going.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that, because, I mean, even towards the ending, like it is more of a conclusion ending. This isn't just a thriller movie that just ends like out of nowhere, like, oh, and all's right with the world, blah 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 blah, like such and such escaped, or whatever you want to call it. So I really do like how there is they do show a little bit more of the aftermath of what happens between these two characters.
The ending was strange to me.
It was a bit strange. It caught me by surprise, but I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. But I mean, how else would you end that movie? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I watched this one movie called Alone. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Earlier this year, and the ending, this one girl gets like kind of she gets captive while she's moving out to like the sticks or something. Her husband like passed away and all this other stuff, and she runs into like this kidnapper. This guy literally she keeps running into this guy like the entire, like just like on the road, like at every single stop, and towards the ending, they're battling it out. And then, she obviously, she kills a guy, and then like a chopper comes down, and then like the movie just ends. It's kind of like with Crawl, when we reviewed that way back in the day. Yeah. When I say way back in the day, it was kind of like
classic helicopter endings.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously this did not have anything to do with helicopters, but I did like the way it kind of wrapped up. But like I'm trying to figure out what they were going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's also just some visual choices I thought were strange. We can talk about it after, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. So I guess what character did you just connect with the most, just to kind of make this at least 15 minutes?
We got two choices. There's the mailman. I did
like the mailman.
He was a nice guy. Ted Sherman was his name.
Or the pharmacist. She was pretty cool. Yeah.
or the guy on the phone who she has to call for help.
I was very confused about that part. Like, what was she? Where did she get that number? Who was he? Like, was that just like a random number she decided to like? I don't know. Anyway, I won't say it.
Questions that rise.
Yeah, there's definitely, and like we said, this movie is very, very short. I was so hyped for this movie the entire year, and I'm glad that we did watch it. I've seen it. Will I see it again? I would definitely watch it with friends or family for sure. I don't know if I would the only way I would want to watch this movie again is if I felt like I missed something the first time around. But I don't really have like a urge to go back and watch it. By myself. We have other things to review. I have a lot of other things to watch. But was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Devin, before we get into scores?
I think we're good.
Yeah, this is a very short movie, and
It's short and simple, but
it is
which
I really appreciate. But there isn't much going on besides, the two main characters that we see. So, so I guess Devin, out of 100, what would you give the Hulu original film Run?
Out of 100 dog pills, yeah. I'll give this one 70.
Okay. I was actually gonna go with like a 65, but yeah, I think I'll go with 65. Like it was good. It wasn't great, but it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's definitely something to watch if you haven't seen it, or if you're looking for something new to kind of like fill your time. It comes out around the holiday season with Thanksgiving. So I can't really say it's fun for the whole family, but I mean, you don't always have to watch family friendly movies with your family. You can watch some pretty crazy stuff. And definitely I think this should be on everyone's watch list this year. If anything, because it is a very interesting story. It's very simple, like Devin said. And it does leave you with a few questions. I wish they would have gone a little bit deeper into the lore, but I feel like they went deep enough. There are definitely some twists and turns. One shocking surprise moment that I didn't think that was going to happen, but it happens. But yeah, so 70 out of 100 from Devin, 65 out of 100 for me. I kind of wish this was longer, but like I kind of wish it wasn't, because then they would have just been dragging it on. Like this movie does exactly what it needs to do. It's it's a little bit of a shock scare, but it would have been better for Mother's Day. Like I can see why this was supposed to come out on Mother's Day for sure.
Yeah, great to watch with your mom and not freak her out at all.
Well, my mom was supposed to come down for my birthday, and I was planning on buying tickets. We had the AMC A-list.
Those were the days.
The good old days. I had tickets ready and everything, and then COVID hit. So yeah, so that kind of squashed those plans, but that's all right. But would you watch this film again, Devin, or no?
If someone else wanted to,
okay,
I wouldn't mind.
Fair enough. Would you put this in a movie library if you had a physical collection?
No, unless it was dollars.
Yeah,
dollars.
Like I would pay no more than like $10 for this movie. Like
I'm talking
$20.
No,
are you talking like
$3?
Oh my god, you're digging into the bargain bin at Walmart. That's
that Drug Mart has that dollar movie section.
That's right. Oh man, how long has it been since we've been to Drug Mart?
Definitely plan on going when I'm back in OH.
Do you really? Do you still see? I haven't really set foot since high school, so I don't know. I just I expect to walk in and see like one of our old friends who used to work there.
Yeah, definitely try to avoid that.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, that pretty much concludes our spoiler-free or non-spoiler, I should say, review of Run. Sorry, guys. We tried our best. There just wasn't much to say about this film, which can be a good and a bad thing. But hey, we got through it, and that's all that matters. Next up on the list is Animaniacs. So we got that coming up. That'll be definitely more of a interesting discussion. I believe that's also going to be, we're going to be having 2 reviews dropping out. So yeah, so this, by the time you listen to this, our Animaniacs review will be out because we're recording this ahead of time. So I'm getting all my days mixed up. I'm sorry. So yeah, by the time this is out, go check out our Animaniacs review. We are going to be just doing a brief overview of the random 5 episodes that they gave us. I believe they gave us episodes 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. There are 13 episodes total, so definitely keep a lookout for that as well. So check that out. It should be up on the pod as of now. This is past Christian talking to future Christian, and future Devin talking to past Devin as well. But again, that concludes today's review. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us on the podcast platform of your choosing. And make sure you check out the other Drive-In Podcast Network shows over on the Music City Drive-In website at musiccitydrivein.com. The link will be in the description of this podcast. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we will see you guys in the next one. See you next week or whatever.
Peace.
Bye.